breakdown, I will take it more than one angle so you can see each of the individual sections. 4-point spear taken from the kata angle. Breakdown of the 4-point spear, each of the individual sections, you'll notice there were 4 different direction face, will be taken at more than one angle. Okay. Basically, when we had the salutation, you came out straight. Notice that in this particular case, the right hand came back from here, so it simply turned over in position. Okay. The complete first set of movements then have our basic stabbing movement from here. Notice the hand stays in position. There's no spearing. So what we're doing on the first section, we're doing 4 spears. Feet together. Horse, bow, and then the lunge bow. Let me take it to the kata angle, then I'll reverse my direction 90 degrees. From the salutation, come back. Notice at this point, the feet are absolutely together from here. I go into my next movement. As I draw back from the stab, I'm in the horse. From here, maintain the horse as you stab out, using the throat basically as a reference point. Once again, feet together. The stab, the horse and the stab. Draw back, the bow and the stab. Draw back, notice I'm in the horse, and I lunge and come forward with the bow. Let me take this at a 90-degree reversal angle from here. From the salutation, we're in this position. I'm going to square a horse. My feet are together when I make my first stabbing movement. I draw into the horse. Remain as I stab. Draw back. Bow, but notice the feet do not move except into the bow. I draw back. And then to gain the distance, that's exactly what we do from here. I shuffle into the bow with the stab. The next section on the kata now, from here, involves exactly the same 4 positions of feet. Feet together, horse, bow, and lunge bow, but as we do each of these, we're using a spearing movement. From here, I won't have to reverse the angle on this particular one because in the kata and the transition, you've got an adequate view. Take it from your last movements from here now. We came around and I had a lunge bow. Notice it from here now. I'm going to bring the feet together. As I do, as soon as I can get position from here, I want to shoot this bow from here, shoot the staffs in a spearing movement. So you're moving from here as I come around here. Notice at this point, I haven't moved. As I draw into the horse now, I cock the motion from here. I stay in the horse and shoot the spear. Notice that from here, this will come in and back. I remain in position. This time, I go forward into the bow, spearing out, come back to the horse. This time, I lunge into the bow, and my transition from here will come to horse, will be a 180-degree reversal. Okay. Once again, I'll take this at the angle from here, simply explain what I'm doing from here, then I'll change 180 degrees so you can see the exact movements of my hands. On the final movements from here, the second slide, the second section, feet together, the spear, the horse, the spear, draw back, the bow, draw back, and the lunge bow. Notice as I cock as I come around. Notice now as we get to the third section, we have only 3 stances. The horse, the bow, and the lunge bow. So after the first 2 sections, we eliminate the feet together. Your movement from here. I come around the horse. Now what we're going to do is to take the first 2 sections we had and incorporate them into the third. The first movement from the horse stance will be a stabbing movement, then it'll be a spearing movement, and this transition will take place on each of the individual stances. Stab, spear, go to the bow, stab, spear, and then the lunge. Same movement from here as I come around. Notice it from the horse stance. I stab, I draw it back. I spear and draw it back. I stab. The feet remain the same. I stab, go to the bow. Same movement, I come back. I spear, come back. Once again, I'm going to stab. I'm going to lunge into the bow, but make sure it's a stabbing movement. I draw back. I'm going to lunge into the bow again, but this time it's a spear. I will now take this, the reverse angle from here so you can see what we're doing. We just came around off my last spearing movement from here. I'm going to square horse, and I stabbed out. So I come from here. I cock this particular movement back. So your first movement, actual movement from here is your spear, is your stab. From the horse, from here, I shoot the spear out. I remain in position from here, but I go to the full bow as I stab. I come back. It's the bow again. I do not move the feet. Spear, back. This time I lunge with a stab into the bow. I draw back, and I lunge into the spear. The transition now to the fourth section is going to be done with my back view, so I'll take it in the kata, and once again reverse the motion from here. Notice that my transition also, as I come around from here, will be the horse stab with a stabbing movement as I come around. So your movement from here, I've just gone through my last movement here, the shuffle, from here, the shuffle. I cock, strike in from here. Notice we've got the same basic, this time I cross, cock, shoot the spear in a bow. I'm going to come around 180 degrees as I do. From here, I've cocked this movement. I'm going to go into the same procedure now. As I lunge into the bow, spear, draw up with the left foot, and the salutation now is a little bit different. This time from here, it comes underneath the hand to allow me to tip this over. The point of the spear comes down. Let me take this final section now at a different angle. We came around from here off of my last stabbing movement. I come around to a square position. From here as I do, I stab. I leave that stab out. This is part of the exercise I gave you. We cross into it. I go to a full bow now as we spear. As I cross back to get in position from here, I cock the hand, I lunge into the bow, draw with the left foot to position your transition out. Let me put those last 2 sections together in the kata to give you the final transition. The third section. You came around from here. The stab in position, the spear. The bow, the stab, the bow in the spear. The lunge, bow with the stab, the lunge. As I come around, I cock, spear out. Leave the movement from here. Cross stance. I go into a full bow now as I spear. Leave the hand out. As I come around, I cock. I lunge bow as I come forward. Foot comes to position. Drop it by the left side. The salutation, the hand drops under. The point comes down. 4-point spear, first half, the easiest half of 8-point spear.